Hey guys, welcome back to the video. So we are going to be doing the March wrap up in this one. I cannot believe that this is the third month finished already. So in March I actually read 8 books, which is absolutely like what the heck. I did go down a little rabbit hole with one author in particular. So I think about 6 of the books are from the one author, which is Lucinda Berry. So before we jump in to see what books I read this month, let's go through the statistics. So in total we read 8 books and the amount of pages that we read was 2,316. Out of this we read 7 thrillers and 1 YA mystery. And then we also done 1 physical and 7 Kindle. Yeah. So the reason I read so many books from this one author is because I've recently done a video on her and I compared her books to Frida McFadden. So if you are interested in that, click up here or actually wait until the end of this video and then go watch it. But we're going to start off with the only physical book, which is Good Girl, Bad Blood. Now this is the second book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, where we follow Pip and she kind of like investigates people's murders, disappearances, etc. In the first book there was a school murder where it was a boyfriend and a girlfriend. They went to the same school together. They went to Pip's school, and for her school project she thought that the guy was innocent. Now the girlfriend died and then they blamed the boyfriend on killing her. So she thought he was innocent and she goes down this deep rabbit hole and finds out dark, twisted secrets, and I can't tell you how that one finishes. But in this one, she goes ahead and finds a missing person. So she investigates a missing person and finds also out all these twisted secrets, dark secrets, family secrets, just everything. And this book was honestly so much smoother. It was like the detailing in all the graphics. If you haven't read the first book yet, I would give you, they have like these little graphic details and then you kind of like follow what she writes down on her computer and it will change to like, it'll change the fonts. So like that is a normal and then that's the entries. So you see the entries, I found it a lot more detailed than the first one. Overall, I found that also the story was more engaging. It was more fast-paced. The first one was so hard for me to get through. I couldn't stop thinking about this book. So because of that, I did give it 5 stars. It is my first 5-star read of 2025, and if you know me, you know that I only found a 5-star read at the very end of 2024. So for the rest of them, I actually read them on my Kindle. So I'm just going to put the pictures up on the screen for you instead. So starting off for the first thriller was from Lucinda Berry. Now I think I read about 5 Lucinda Berry books in the space of like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So the first one that I chose was When She Returned, and this, out of all the ones that I read, I feel like this is an entry book to Lucinda. It is the tamest, it isn't the darkest, and it's not, it's got some triggering elements in it, but not compared to the others. So this one here, I ended up giving 4 stars, and pretty much we follow Kate, who is a missing mum. She did have a husband and a little daughter, and she went missing from the Target car park. Now, pretty much 15 years later, she shows up, she is found, and she gets reunited with her family. With the family though, they haven't as such moved on, but the dad had recently gotten remarried to a widow. Then when Kate shows back up, it's all of them living in the same house together. things happen. So Meredith, who is the new partner, starts like questioning things. Nobody believes her. It's honestly like really good. It was so good. So it does have a cult involved in this. It is called Love International. It reminds me of Riverdale. The season of, is it season 3 or season 4 of Riverdale, where they have that whole cult with Chad Michael Murray. If you liked that season, you'll like this book. So I did guess the ending of this one purely because of Riverdale. Even though I knew it, it was still so fun. Like, I would recommend this one. And if you haven't read Listen to Berry before, like I said, check the triggers, but this one is a great entry point for her. So the next one that we read was The Perfect Nurse by Daniel Hurst. And I feel like I was really generous with this rating. I rated it 2 stars. I did not like it at all. I wanted to DNF it so many times. It was so long. It's 280 pages, so it is quite long for a thriller, and if it's going to be that long, you really want it to be like engaging and, you know, lots of plot twists and things to keep you entertained, essentially. The only thing, like the reason why I didn't like it was because I felt it very, very repetitive from the start to the end. And I did find the plot twists predictable too. I'm pretty sure I guessed just about all of them. It just wasn't surprising. It didn't give me that wow factor. I was quite bored. I wasn't looking forward to finishing it or reading it, and I just had to push myself through. Kept telling myself it would get better. It did not. In a way, it felt very similar to Verity and Housemaid. It was more in the sense of where it's like lock your door during the night and that the house is just really weird and gloomy and nothing makes sense and the couple is lying. Like, yeah, I can't really say too much about it because it will give away a good chunk of the book, and once you know, there's nothing to look forward to. So yeah, overall 2 stars. I should have gave it a 1 star, but I'll stay with 2. Yeah, it was very repetitive, didn't like the writing, just wasn't my cup of tea. Okay, so moving on to, I shouldn't say the fun ones, but these ones were like absolute page turners, had me sucked in, finishing them in a day, like, nah. I was thinking about these constantly after finishing them. They have stayed with me. Anyway, first up we have Phantom Limb by Lucinda Berry. The back of this book, if you read the blurb, I find her blurb, which I love. I hate reading blurbs because I feel like they give too much of the story away. Her blurbs have you thinking about something normal, but what's actually inside the book is completely different. You'll never guess much of what is happening at all. So this one we followed 2 twins, Emily and Elizabeth, and they grew up with a really bad mum, which this book you definitely do need to check your triggers. This one hit home for me. There was a part in this book that hit me deep and I was like, wow, I haven't had this feeling before in a book. This is something different, something new. Like, it was so good though. They grew up in a really bad home where their mum pretty much used and abused them. They didn't even eat food. They didn't even know how to chew. They were on formula for the first 6 years of their life. Like, that is so disgusting and sick that I can't even think about it. So they go into a foster home, they have like a much better life, and then they move out of home, and one day Elizabeth finds Emily on the floor dead. Next thing she knows, she wakes up in a hospital and she's wondering what happened to Emily, why is she in the hospital, pretty much trying to work out what's going on. And the twist, the ending, I'm still trying to work out how and why, and I'm trying to understand it. And this is a huge psychological element. It's full of, it's just huge on the psychological part. And the human brain can do unreal things in cases of trauma. It left me shook. So this one was 4.5 stars. It is very high. It had me drawn from the start. It's definitely going to be one that I remember. So next up we have Saving Noah by also Lucinda Berry. This one I was shocked at the end. I had no words. I was just like, what happened? What just happened? What did I just read? It has stuck with me as well, and I think about it pretty much on a daily basis. It's changed my perspective or how I see things. It's made me think more about the world as a whole and what goes on in it every day. It makes me literally look at people and question the human in front of me and being like, you know, I can't spoil it. I don't want to spoil this, but things happen. This one is about a child molester. He is, I think, 17 or 18, and he did touch a couple of little younger girls in swimming because he was a swim teacher. Well, he was a swim captain, I'm pretty sure, but he taught some kids. This book is a lot from the mum's point of view, and you try and see her navigate finding out what her son done. She is quite literally in denial and doesn't reckon that he's a monster and reckons he'll get better, and there's no way that my son would have done that. Hearing that, I was very close to DNFing this book within like the first 2 sentences, but I'm so glad I didn't. I'm so glad I did push it through, because it has definitely changed my mindset. Pretty much Noah, when Noah comes out of juvie, we don't see him in juvie. We see some memory snippets of him in there, but it's primarily set after he comes out. His mum lives with his stepdad and they have a daughter together. So this stepdad doesn't actually want him to move back into the home because of the daughter. He's protecting the daughter, which I was like, fair enough. I'm with this dad 100%. Pretty much this book makes you question people that it makes you question the wrong people, and like I said, it has stuck. So yeah, gave this one 4 stars. It was one of those ones I wasn't sure how to rate it. I felt a bit disgusted rating it. It's one of those ones that I feel like people need to read, but you need to check your triggers. Okay, so for the next one, also Lucinda Berry, we have The Perfect Child. Now, if you've watched the movie Orphan, you would love this. This one is so disturbing. At the start, I'm going to say a good 40% at the start, I was like, this is so much like, not so much like Orphan, but it's like the similarities in this versus Orphan, except this one is quite literally a toddler, whereas obviously Orphan, she's an adult pretending to be a toddler. But it is so freaking disturbing, and I ate it up. I literally ate it up. There is a little short story after it, which is the sequel, and I straight away, I needed that. I read it all in the same day. So pretty much this one follows a nurse and a doctor who struggle falling pregnant themselves. They're dealing with infertility. They've tried for a few years, and then one day this little, they actually thought it was younger than a toddler. She's actually 6 and they thought she was younger. I think they thought she was like 3 or something. She not walks, but she shows up at a hospital like abandoned, really skinny, not eating, not talking, and it looked like she got abused. So pretty much when she gets better, she gets placed, well, she needs to get placed into foster care. So the Dr. Chris actually gets attached to this child. Quite literally gets attached. This child gets attached to him, and then there's Hannah, like his partner, who's the nurse, and this child, her name's Jamie. she pretty much tries. And but this one was really interesting though, because it went under in investigation, and that goes from the social worker's point of view to the family's point of view and what's currently happening and stuff like that. There's things that happen, once again, I can't mention because her books are so good. So many things happen and they all tie up at the end, and they all make sense. If you say one thing, then it's going to spoil the rest. But like I said, it is very similar to Orphan. It is a lot darker than Orphan. I guess kind of like the same, but it's darker in the sense like there is a lot more detail. It was great. I could honestly read 10 of them. So I ended up doing this one 4.5 stars. Her books are getting rated so high, like I love it. So like I said, there is a sequel. It's a very short, I think it's like 82 pages, very short sequel. This one I gave 4 stars. It was a really good sequel to follow up on some things about Janie and Chris and Hannah and the family. And I honestly can't mention what happens in the sequel at all because it's a huge spoiler for The Perfect Child. So you're going to have to go read it, honestly. I did see recently that Lucinda Berry is writing actually a prequel to this. So I'm very excited to see that book. It should be out, I think she said end of 2025. With the Welcome Reunion, once we got about halfway, I did see the ending coming. Like there was hints along the way and I was like, yeah, this is who the person is. This is what's happening. I can see that. Even though that happened, I still overall loved it. So for the last one is also Lucinda Berry, and it's Appetite for Innocence. Nah. This one is so... it's the same. It's so deep. It's so gut-wrenching. It had me on the edge of my seat. And this one is about... oh, there's a movie that kind of... there's a lot of movies based on true stories, and this one is about teenagers, 12-13-year-olds who get kidnapped by this guy, and he takes them down to his basement and locks them up there. You know, they got to pee in a bucket, they don't have a proper bed, they've got like crackers to live off for the week, and he will bring them up, have dinner with them, bath them, do other SA things with them, and put them back down in the basement. So there's 3 girls there, and we learn each individual one. They actually end up escaping, but what happens after the escape is... and finding out details and secrets between the girls. It's so disturbing. It is so disturbing. So with this one though, I'm gonna say this one is like pretty much as disturbing as Saving Noah on that whole essay aspect. Her books are so freaking detailed in that she literally drags you into the book like you are there in person, like being in front of it, witnessing the whole thing. Her writing is so good. I don't know what she puts in her books, but they're so hard to put down from the first page. So this one I did end up giving 4 stars. It's also another one that's going to stick with me. I think she has changed my brain, ruined my brain in a good way, and it's made me more open to the world. It's so hard to describe like what I mean, but if you do decide to read any of her books, definitely check the triggers for each individual one. Like they are crazy. So that is it for this March wrap up. I can't believe I had literally read 8 books, and all because I got sucked into a rabbit hole. They were really quick and short though. Most of them were under 250 pages, I believe. So honestly, it's not that bad. I don't know what's going to happen in April. I just can't believe it's going to be April. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video, which is going to be picking my April TBR. So if you like those videos, make sure to turn the notification bell on so you don't miss it, and I will see you guys there. Bye!